Hello, this is Jared. Just about to start to play some Oxygen Not Included. Today we are going to do some farming, but before we do, I'm going to take in some advice from Cedric. First of all, good eye here. I see a normal dupe is sleeping where I have the Bionic dupes. Hammer's not enjoying that. Also, whoever's sleeping next to motherboard, not enjoying that. So I'm going to change that up. Let's make sure that this is assigned to motherboard. And Hammer can go grab a cot in the normal dupe space or barracks up there. Okay, so that solves these guys from waking up at night because the Bionic dupes create a little bit of light as they do their thing. The other advice was instead of just dumping your glass and plastic down here and letting this metal tile cool it off, instead what we're going to do, we're going to have conveyor rail go through this. In fact, also meant to do some radiant pipes like this and change out this line with the idea of making sure the plastic and that is nice and cool by the time it's actually dropped off. Oh, did I see a little piece of water in there? I don't know how that got in there. Let's just take this opportunity to cut that out. And can these guys reach? Oh no. They're going to need a little place to stand up. Two, three, four. How did I... Oh, I did height of 5 here because I want to get... that's right, I want to get that motion sensor in there. Okay, so now we can redirect our cooling line with the aqua tuner to go through here instead. And let's go to research, since I'm going to be doing farming. One of the things I want... Oh, I want to get to gourmet meal preparation. While everyone is working on project farming on the main asteroid, this dupe is building a atmosuit checkpoint over here because I realize there's lots of hydrogen up there and might as well have them in an atmosuit exploring the top area of this little asteroid. So back over here. While I'm waiting for this line to go in, I'm just clearing out this whole space here for some farming. Figure out how this is all going to go together once we've cleared this out. And produce a little bit of glass and plastic while we're waiting. Last episode I set up this stable up here. See the normal, or the glossy Dracos. Where's the normal ones? I might... Technically, it should be okay leaving this guy in there, but you know what? Let's relocate you down there. That way, we've got our egg automation going on. Alright, so with this, let's take this out. Instead of dumping our stuff right there, we'll try this. So now we're getting stuff dropped off. Just curious the temperature. We've got plastic 8, still pretty warm, but maybe it's helped a bit. But let's take a look at the temperature here. Just watch a single piece of glass as it's made its way through. Okay, currently at 260. Before it's leaving this zone. You got about, if it'll tell me, contents 240. By the time we go through here, 142. So I could probably make that longer if I really want to cool off. That helps. But we'll come back maybe to that at some point after. Let's continue clearing out. Oh, polluted water everywhere. Okay, draining down here is not really a problem, but working in this area is a little annoying. Clean that up too. Right, so Draco population will start to increase. The other thing I did is I removed the Draco egg drop off there. So maybe I'm going to take this moment to remove all those eggs up here. Just do that quickly, but not forget to take them out of that bin. And we can get rid of that now. We've got our Draco eggs there. So that's awesome because then we've got our shearing station ready to go. Okay, well, I think we've got this cleared out, so I'll work on the next step. Before we go too far, I'm going to relocate this oxygen line and this power line down here. So we're going to dig out a little bit further and remove this polluted water up here. At least get it down and out of the way. I think we've got a dupe that's technically stuck at the moment. Uh-oh. Yeah, okay. Let's aim to fix that. Oops. Someone want to save this dude. There we go. Alright, with all this cleared out, I'll work on the next part. So what I'm going to do in this little corner here is do the temperature control. By the way, I am going to be growing some sleet wheat. That needs to be very cold, minus 55 to minus 5, or to 5. And water weed, that is 22 to 65. So two very different temperature ranges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan to put some water here so it'll basically act as a temporary liquid airlock. So we can get a vacuum in here, dump some water in there. We're going to have two aqua tuners. One for making sure the sleet wheat is very chilled, and one for making sure the water wheat is not too hot, at least not over 65. So we got the temperature check with automation wire that's going to control each of the aqua tuners. Now destroy one of those for a dot of water right there. Excellent. It shouldn't take too long to make a vacuum in here once we've got all this set up. Oh, well, I guess we have to have power technically. I'll connect this wire like that for now. And still no power. What's going on? What am I missing? Oh, ha! Yes, okay, this little section in here definitely needs connection. And we've got a little vacuum in here just because this tile here, we don't want that exposed to the environment. Alright, and we will get a vacuum located here and here, and I'll work on the next part. While I wait for some vacuums, the next little part here is to make the spot for the water weed. That's going to be farm right here. Before we do that, let's go over a look at this guy. I'm going to get this guy to plant some of these Saturn critter traps just so we can get tons of this hydrogen. We've got a bunch, but that's just going to really improve the amount we have. So let's go after our water weed farm. Now for this, I'm going to want to put a liquid airlock here. Water weed needs to grow on top of some salt water. So we're going to be pumping some salt water from over here. You can see a vacuum there has been complete. And we've got a vacuum in here. Second aqua tuner going in. And I need to have a spot to deliver some water. Do that right there. Put a steam turbine above this. Radiant pipe going around here. This is what's going to keep the water weed cool. Under 65 anyway. And I'm going to have a vacuum area in here. Door doesn't need to be open or shut. Bleach stone's going to be put in here, but not until we actually dump in some liquid. Salt water specifically. Salt water on the way. Don't need a lot in here. I think that's actually enough even. Just putting in some gold tiles here just for the decoration and fast walking around. It's going to be more difficult to change this out after liquid's in there, so I figure I'll do that now. Alright, I'm wondering if do a double check here, but we've got our pipes going in and out. We've got our automation. We've got our power. I think we can seal this off, so I'll do just that. Make sure the pip or any other critters is not in there. There's a good chance that might happen. Somebody could do that for us quickly. Oh. Go, 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 go. Okay, there we are. Just below where we're going to be growing the water weed, we'll put the sleet wheat farm. Now I'm putting a salt water here for my liquid airlock because I want it to be extremely cold. Actually, I probably could use salt water for this now that I think about it, but I have a plan to bring in ethanol. Actually, maybe that is complete overkill. I was not only going to put ethanol right here, but I was going to put ethanol in the cooling line. But I actually don't like that idea, and I don't need the temperature to be super freezing. So maybe I'm going to change my mind on that. What we could do instead is actually bring in the brine that we have up here. Maybe I'll do that. Guess one of the disadvantages of having this door open, that it's going to give Pip access to this. I can actually now put bleachstone in here since we got water, or salt water right there. Do that, high priority. Can start to dig out bleachstone from various locations. Oh! And we're just about to go to cycle 100, it looks like. Alright, I haven't really been concentrating on it, but did I get the Carnivore Achievement along the way? Really hope so. Yeah, I did. There it is. The Carnivore Achievement, 400,000 calories of meat. Oh, did I just see the super sustainable? Yeah, that kind of makes sense with Bionic dupes. Cool. So, Carnivore, Locavore, and super sustainable. Out of the way. Very, very nice. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to use salt water here. So radiant pipes going through here, obviously. So we'll want a storage area for dirt down here, the input for sleet wheat. The next part of this, I guess we can get rid of that vent, is to put a liquid airlock here, make sure we've got a vacuum in between, and that's going to maintain the air temperature in between the two farms and the base itself. We're also going to have vacuum in here, more just for the cool liquid lines going in and out. We are also ready to put in our steam turbine up here. We just need another wire, I believe, and we should see our pumps running. Excellent. Now, while we're waiting for that, I'm just going to decide if I actually want to make this a vacuum or not. So I ended up deciding to make this a vacuum. One thing I could have done, let's get that pip out there before it's too late. There we go. One thing I could have done is insulate it there, but if I made insulated pipes and tiles, that just seems like a waste of effort. I like this idea a little bit better. I'm going to now plug this in. Now we're waiting for a vacuum over here and a vacuum over here. So let's just add in some heavy watt wires, or what will eventually be part of the heavy watt wire line over there. And maybe start populating the actual liquid lines themselves. Use brine in both cases. We've got to be setting the temperature appropriately. So this is going to be for the water weed. I'm going to try below, or if it's above 60, then give us cooling. And down here, let's try a value of, I'll start with 3. If it's above 3, give us some cooling. Next thing I'm adding is automation, lighting, and power. So we're going to have lights with dupe sensors. We're going to have an auto sweeper. Make sure that can access the storage bin, because that's going to be providing dirt, or dirt to the sleet weeds, and then bleach stone to the water weed. And of course, we want a conveyor loader so we can take the finished product out and put it in our deep freezer that we've created earlier over here. Let's just make sure that's looking happy. Minus 30, that's good. Oh, and if we're actually doing cooling, definitely might as well, definitely want to add insulation. See, we've got a vacuum, that's nice. We can get rid of this and this. And looking at this, I am going to have to do... Oh yeah, dupes don't like getting wet there, in particular Bionic dupes. But I'm going to need insulation, because actually, technically, the coldness is going to follow out into the base. We don't want that. Eventually, I'm going to put atmosuits in here. In fact, probably after this construction, we'll do that. Critical power level. Oh! Whoops. Let's do this at priority. This bike can't get to their power source. There we go. So we should notice over time a cooling down here. Dude, am I actually running this from the circuitry? No. Take our heavy wire line up a little bit, running a little bit low on metal. To do some mining soon. So yeah, I guess Byte was stuck there. I think they're the only one that can do automation at the moment. So now that they're building melted. What has melted? Oh, we're taking damage. Nuts. Okay, hold on. So what I opted to do is roll back. First of all, we're going to save Byte again. Then we're going to make sure we get enough water in here. Do not have just a very small amount of water was in there. That was not effective. We'll finish off the automation again. Re-put in our heavy wire line. That should be enough water, so I will cut this off right there. Next thing I'm going to do is put in some atmosuit ducts. Let's also start on radiation refinements. That's not for this episode, but later on, I might experiment with some nuclear power. Maybe we should make some atmosuits if we're going to do that too. Alright, we've got one atmosuit starting to be charged up. No more construction until that's ready to go, though. That's alright. Okay, we are having a problem. Thought the thermoactive tuner was taking damage, but it's not. It's actually the liquid getting too cold in here. What I'm going to have to do is go in this zone to a repair. Thinking what's happening essentially is we're getting a single piece of salt water that's a couple degrees warmer, and then a piece that's too cold to go through. So in order to make this work, I could have either used the ethanol, maybe that would have been better after all, but let's put in a filter. I think that should make things a little bit safer. So we're going to go back in here. Let's make sure we get a tile right there. Do a little bit of mopping up if we can. Get in there. Get rid of that salt water. Fix that pipe. Okay, let's take the... Well, might as well just empty that water, I suppose. The brine will move up here. Alright, and let's just set that, I don't know, B20 should... We'll see if 20 is going to be fine. Seal that back up. Seal this back up. Alright, so we lost our vacuum in there, so I don't want to make that part of the heavy wire line, obviously, so we'll go down like this. So go across like that. We still have a little brine in there. What's going on? No, that is not working. Okay, good attempt. Unless maybe this has to be set higher. Either that or I'm going to have to switch this out for ethanol maybe. Yeah, I'm not liking this setup. Let's see, is the ethanol line ready? I think it might be needed. Let's push it in. So we get that like that. Over on the side of things, we are connected up into this point. So we need to drain this out, so I'll do that now. Well, we might as well turn off the cooling. That's the quickest way to do that. Just cut the power, I suppose. We're going to be draining the liquid that's in here. Salt water. Putting that here in our liquid reservoir instead. Once we've got our ethanol, that's just about... okay, that's kind of pointless. Let's cut that there. And then let's connect this like that so we can... hold on. Let that drain out. Get rid of that. Put in an ethanol line. Alright, so this needs to be re-repaired once more. Hopefully this will be the last time. So ethanol is going round. Let's see, water, we can empty that. Take out the brine again. Seal this back up. And power that on. Okay, I see a little bit of ice. I can just move there. Don't know that it really matters if brine stays in there. Probably not. I'm just going to get it out just in case. Sometimes when you think, oh, that's not going to matter, it does matter, so just going to play it safe. Okay. Seal that up. And maybe we've got it at a safe way. So we'll be watching that. In the meantime, where I was over here, so I want access to a little bit of natural gas so we can do some advanced cooking. So we'll make a pathway out this way. I have just printed some cheval eggs. Obviously, we want to put them someplace safe. So specialized area being built over here for them. Now that I've got tile right there, I'll go select on each of these eggs and move them over here. Next thing to do is load in a little bit of liquid here. Now this is going to be very hot, area 150. So I'm thinking maybe crude oil might be the best choice. We're also going to want to have our atmosuits on before we go in here, but we'll put in the liquid airlock too, just to make sure that natural gas doesn't explode everywhere. So what I'm doing is going up and down here. Connect into our crude oil line. And once we've got this vent, I suspect crude oil will be on the way. Time to put in some atmosuits. As crude oil is being dropped off. So I would be smart to kind of fill this in. So I don't have to make a pump to get a vacuum together. So bringing down oxygen, bringing down power, making a few more atmosuits. That's enough of that. Once we've got this, we'll be able to go in here. Obviously not until the atmosuits are ready, though. Let's check if oxygen is there. Okay, oxygen is on the way. Excellent. Checking on the dupe over here. Somehow he got around his Atmos suit and is working in a very cold area. How did that happen? Okay. First of all, maybe he's able to go up. He's able to stand here, go up and around. We have Atmos suits. Maybe I just gonna make that a priority first of all. And let's put in, I think, a very important tile right there. So after that, let's make sure that you go put in one of those Atmos suits. There we go, Rock. That's gonna be a little nicer for you. I also probably want to deal with these pug slugs. If I haven't already, let's get a pug slug, or I guess it's just called slug. Oh, I already am dropping them off. Okay. We have at least one suit loaded, ready to go, so we're gonna go in here. I need a single tile right there. After that, we'll be able to get inside here. Guess technically I could just go take that one out, but no, let's go this way. So once we're in here, we're going to insulate all around. Remove some of the material. We've got a pump with an Atmos sensor, so we only pump out stuff once we actually have a good amount of gas in there. Looking at our setup, looks like we're a little bit short on reed fiber, so maybe I will take one of these out. Put a bin here so we can remove some of the resources. Once I get a tile right there. Whoops. Okay, that is a little bit of a leak. Where are you guys? Someone's got to build this tile for us, guys. Come on now. Guess I shouldn't be making this out of sandstone. Have to go a little bit further to get that. Okay. What do I need to do other than insulate? We want to ultimately have a connection right there. tell this to be above, let's say, 600. On the outside of this, we'll have insulated line going out. And let's remove some of the material in here before we seal this off. And I believe we can put that in there, and I will put in a little vacuum airlock because technically this hot area, this guy outputs 150 degrees. We don't want this to be exposed too much to the base. We get a little bit of a leak of natural gas, but at this point we already kind of have a bunch leaked out. Technically this doesn't have to be, well, I'll design this now. So in addition to insulating or creating a vacuum at this location, I'm going to be building an insulated line towards the kitchen. I'm also going to up this conveyor loader up here to make a little bit of room in the kitchen area. And now that we're technically no longer going here, I've disabled our atmosuit check. And I can put in a single tile, make that an igneous rock right there. Now I did put in heavy watt line, but technically, oh, maybe I'll at least do conductive line. But we're just going to connect this to conductive line like that. Oh, someone's still, I guess technically that should be fine, but you know what? Get them to take their suit off. And now I just realized we're getting down to a spot. I might not go any further because this is a spot only Bionic dupes can go to. Maybe at some point we want to get rid of or pump up that crude oil. Just one more pipe and we are going to start on the vacuum inside here. We're putting in a rustic gas range. Been kind of ignoring the dupe over on this asteroid. Figured it's time for them to have a washroom so they can work on that. We'll need a pump to pump in some water. And also, I guess we'll need to store some of the polluted water away. So we'll do this type of thing. But, also discovered a problem down here. I wanted to check to see if this is nice and cool. It is not. For some reason, ethanol line is not going round. So let's take this out. Maybe we'll try just destroying one, rebuilding, and see what that does. That we will re-put in one of these. Do a little bit of mopping up. See what this does for us. So we just need a little bit more piping to get natural gas in our range. And I see the ethanol line going around now. Okay. We've got lighting. We've got our conveyor loader. This is able to get inputs into there. Let's go check quick on rock. Okay, yeah, it's gonna take him a little bit longer given the fact that he's only one dupe. Just curious if you're a tame Draco. Might as well wrangle you. Another one wandering around. Oh no. Oh no. This is not... Okay, it was actually really nice with this auto conveyor loader being located right there because this guy could access it and this guy could not. Now that I put it up there, that's not good. Okay, I'm going to have to do something. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do to fix this situation. We're going to relocate this guy here. So this auto sweeper cannot access to this, but the other auto sweeper has to move over. I'm going to move that right there. So this can access this one. Let's give it a little bit of power. Copy the settings here, send that down there, get rid of that one. And make sure this guy has some power. There we go. I'm gonna see if we can do some farming in our new farms. So let's put in some water weed. Oh, you're in the way. Actually, okay, I only intended to plant 2 of these. So you know what? Maybe that's not the biggest deal. Sleet weed, I don't think they'll have that problem. It's only of height 2, but I guess water weed's of height. Or, yeah, these water weeds are of height 2. Sleet weed is only 1. So, sleet weed, I plan to having twice the amount. I think I need 4 of these and 2 of these for the amount of food that we need. So the idea is I want to get sleet wheat to be picked up here eventually. Lettuce to be picked up here. Alright, so sleet wheat being dropped off. Probably too warm there for the moment, but that shouldn't take too long to cool down from this point. Now that we finally fixed our whole cooling line of ethanol. We want to take in some water. So that's going to go into here. Actually, that's technically not the correct water line. So we need water to go into the sleet wheat. We need some salt water to go into this guy here. I better make sure that I connect this guy right here. Otherwise, the steam turbine won't be able to do anything. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay, we've got some growing water weed. Sleet wheat that still needs to be cooled off. I don't have a production process of fertilizer, but there was enough natural fertilizer around. In fact, the fertilizer that is over here, I can get this dupe to send over. And we'll do fertilizer production another time. The other thing we've got to worry about is just looking at, there's our water source. I think when I come back next time, that's definitely going to be the focus. Getting alternate water source together. Let's see, I can make a pepper bread. But the goal was to make frost burgers. Don't have all the ingredients for that yet. Actually, what do I need? I need some of that lettuce. but I also need frost buns. So maybe we can make a few over here, and we can see if we can create our first food in our gas range. Chop, checking it out. There we are. So we've got some pepper red. Let's just slow it down. I'm just going to make sure that that pepper red can actually get in for storage, so it doesn't go bad. Excellent. Chop is making a frost. No, just some regular meat. And I guess we can put in pepper bread here, just in case we run out of barbecue meat. Looks like temperature is not the only problem with the sleet wheat. They don't like the low pressure. So I'm going to do that. I think that's going to be the final thing, except for one final thing. I mentioned the water is low. I'm just worried when I come back next time. I'll be excited about another project and I forget about our water supply. So I'm going up here and making sure we send some of this polluted water into our polluted water treatment area, so we can get that into our water system, as well as make sure we dump a bunch of carbon dioxide over here. So there is a new source of water for the base. And here is some, I think I see some chlorine, which I don't want to go in there, so let's catch that. Body temperature, so that will be taken care of by our cooling line. Alright, I think that is going to be it for today then. So we have a little bit of sleet wheat growing, some water weeds, some temperature control, and the two different farms. We got our warm farm, our cold farm down here. We've got atmosuits going in and out of that, a steam turbine, which is going to keep this area cool so these thermo aquatuners can run. We've got a connection to our natural gas. You know, not the biggest deal. I should have done some analysis on that before. It's not really too late. I could come back and do that at some point. But, yeah, what else? We've got our water, another water source. And over on this asteroid, not a lot has happened, though I did eventually get up here. We're going to put a wall right there because I don't like this particular setup. And the stoop is setting up their washroom as well. All right, well, hope you enjoyed. Hopefully I will see you next time. I have no idea what the project's going to be other than probably water solution is going to be one thing, but I could get up to all kinds of things. Oh. Probably this guy. I thought I had, I never thought next door. Yeah. Okay, this is great, giving me more hydrogen, but it definitely will cool that amongst, I'm sure, a number of other things. Hopefully you enjoyed. I will see you next time.